Trifecta by Dean Pearl. Chapter 8. It had been about 6 weeks since Max and the girls sent in their DNA samples, and the company said it would take 6 to 8 weeks, so Max was checking his mail every day hoping he would get to his results before the girls got to theirs. Everything was going great for all of them. The girls' dojo was busier than ever. They actually even had a half dozen girls from Pahrump come in and sign up. After the first night they played there, and the bar staff went on and on about the girls in Trifecta, some of them wanted lessons. So they all knew the girls were 8th degree black belts, and all the guys in town were swooning over them or lambasting them for acting too masculine, which was their way of saying they were jealous that either one of those sisters could kick their ass. Max was getting new calls every week from club owners and agents wanting to book them, and they were even offered a residency at one of the top casino lounges. But it was too many hours a week for the girls to play full-time and run their dojo. There just wasn't enough hours in the day. So Max would try and just book the band on weekends, and he would supplement his own income with some casual single gigs he would score on the weekdays. But the money was coming in good and steady, so Max was happy. Finally, he checked his mailbox, and there was a letter from the DNA company. It said it contained a pamphlet that showed his family tree and how far they were able to track everybody who came up under a match. As he tore open the envelope and opened the pamphlet, the first match he saw was that he and the girls had the same father. So it was true, the girls are his half-sisters. He was so nervous and excited at the same time he didn't know what to do first. He paced quickly back and forth, thinking out loud. Do I run down to the dojo and show them this info, or wait until they see it on their own and they call me? Should I let on that I may have already known and that's why I got them the test in the first place? Would they be mad to find out the man they thought was their biological dad wasn't? Or that he was likely a murderer? Max went into the kitchen to pour himself a drink. He was off that night and he wanted something to calm him down a bit so he could meet with the girls, his new sisters. He decided to call the dojo. He figured they would be busy with lessons this time of day, so he would leave a message on their machine to meet with them. He got up and dialed the number, but was surprised when Leslie picked up the phone and said, "Hello, Johnson Sisters Dojo." Max was flustered to get a live voice, and he stammered a second. "Hello? Hello? Is this Leslie?" he asked into the phone. "Yeah, is this Max?" she responded. "Yeah, it's me," Max responded enthusiastically. "Have you seen your mail today?" "No," Leslie said. "We've been here at the dojo all day. We usually check on the way in when we get home. Why? What's up? Did we get our DNA results?" "Sure did," Max said a bit too enthusiastically. "So is there anything good in it? Did you find any new relatives you didn't know you had?" She was excited for him. "I sure did," Max replied. "But listen, I want you to call me when you guys have to head home, because I want to be there when you and your sister open your results." "Why?" Leslie asked curiously, making Max think he blew it. Thinking fast, Max told her, "Well, it was my present for you guys, so I wanted to be there when you open it for the first time," he implored her. "You know me, I'm like a big kid." Leslie laughed over the phone. "Okay," she assured him. "We'll call you as soon as we're ready to leave, and you can meet us at the house. Maybe bring a pepperoni pizza with you. It's been a long day, and we're too tired to cook. We'll pay you for it when you get there." "Not a problem," Max assured her. "I got it. I'll see you soon, and remember, no peeking." Max changed his clothes and called the pizza place around the corner for a carry-out large pepperoni pizza. He grabbed his DNA package to take with him so he could show the girls his verification that he is indeed their half-brother, grabbed his car keys, and left. By the time he'd arrived at the girls' house, they were upstairs changing into comfort clothes as Max knocked, and he heard a loud, "Come on in." Max could see both of their unopened envelopes on the coffee table in the living room when he walked in. "It's just little old me," Max yelled when he got inside. "We assume that," Wesley yelled down the stairs. "Otherwise, you'd already be in the sights of my 45. Max went into the kitchen to make himself a drink. He and the girls were at the point where they were comfortable just helping themselves to anything to eat or drink when visiting each other. He made a quick gin and tonic and went to sit on the couch and watch TV while he waited for them to come down. Wesley came down the stairs first and just plopped herself onto the couch next to Max. "So you already opened yours, right?" Wesley asked as she picked her envelope up. "Wait, don't open it until Leslie gets here too. I want to see the looks on your faces," Max said with way too much excitement. Now Wesley was starting to get suspicious at Max's excitation at seeing some family history results. Maybe, she thought, it turns out we're distant cousins or something. Leslie came bounding down the stairs, acting pretty excited herself, even though she had no clue why. She was excited because Max was, and it was rubbing off on her. She sat down on the other side of Max and picked up her envelope. "Okay, go ahead and open them up. Forget the intro letter. Just go to the first page with your family tree and tell me what it says," Max instructed, still sounding quite excited. The girls both did as Max asked while he watched them intently. Leslie got hers opened quickest as Wesley was taking her time. Leslie quickly turned to the first page and started looking at her list of relatives. Of course, the first thing she saw was her mother's name and maiden name, and she glanced quickly for her dad's name, but there was a different name where her father's name should have been. What the fuck? Leslie exclaimed as she noticed a different name than her dad. But the name of her father, according to these results, was Barry Wells, Max's father. She quickly looked at the siblings and saw her sister's name and suddenly noticed Max was listed as her half-brother. She let out a large squeal about the same time Wesley noticed the same thing. "Oh my God," Wesley said loudly. "This says we're half-brother and half-sister, and your dad is our biological father. How could that even be possible?" "Is this some kind of gag, right?" Leslie asked, feeling quite anxious all of a sudden. "It's no gag," Max assured them. "I have a little story to tell you that I think will explain this, but it's not pretty." Max said so seriously that now the girls were getting a little scared of what he was going to tell them. "Now might be a good time to make yourself a drink before I tell you this," Max suggested as Leslie got up right away to make a drink, asking Wesley if she wanted one too, and she nodded yes. "Max, is this really true? Are we brother and sister?" "I'm afraid it is," Max assured her again as Leslie returned with 2 drinks and handed Wesley one. She lifted the drink towards Max and Leslie and said, "Well, here's our newest family member, Max, I guess. I can't wait to hear this story." "I'll drink to that," Leslie countered as they all clinked glasses and took a sip. Max adjusted himself for a long story as he sunk back into the couch. "Remember a while back when I said I was cleaning out the closet that had all my mom's stuff in it?" Max asked as both girls nodded in the affirmative. "Well, there was a diary in there," he said. "Yes, I remember you telling us that, and you read it, right?" Leslie asked. "I sure did, and there was an entry on March 13th, 2003 that said my dad, Barry, had told my mom that he had an affair with another woman. She just said he only told her the other woman's name was Terry and that she was married to a man in the military." Both twins let out a gasp as they were starting to get the bigger picture now. That was the day they were born. Then 2 days later, Max informed them, "There was another entry that my dad had just been murdered in a robbery 2 days before, and she didn't know how to tell me, her 7-year-old son, about it." "So what are you saying here, that our dad killed your dad or something?" Leslie asked, upset. "Well, I did some sleuthing, and it turns out even though my dad was killed that night, nothing was actually stolen. He had a guitar and his money from the gig, but it was still on him when the police found him. He had died from a broken neck," Max told them. The girls looked at each other as they knew how their dad had taught them how to kill a man in one easy move, by grabbing someone from behind and wrenching their neck around so hard that it would just snap the victim's vertebrae, so the victim wouldn't even get a chance to yell or scream and would just collapse. The police investigated it as a murder-robbery, but like I said, nothing was taken. So I present to you this theory about what may have happened." Max hesitated to see if the girls had any response, but they were in awe of what they were being told. "Here's what I think happened," Max began. "My mom and your mom were both in a marriage where they didn't see their husbands a whole lot, right? I mean, my dad was on the road a lot, and your dad was off training soldiers a lot, right?" The girls nodded. "Well, what if by some strange coincidence your mom and my dad met someplace where he was playing? Drinks were drank, flirts were exchanged, and they ended up having a one-night stand or something." Max preferred to think of their possible encounter as a one-night stand with bad judgment for a moment as opposed to a full-blown affair. "So maybe your dad got suspicious. If he did the math on when your mom conceived you, and he confronted your mom about it, maybe not until she was ready to give birth. So he asked her about it, and in a haze of emotions, she spills the truth about an affair with my dad while your dad was away on a mission. So your dad gets a name from her, but then during the birth, your mom passes away," Max explained. Both girls have tears forming in their eyes as they are hearing Max's story. "So maybe when your mom died, your dad was furious that another man was the biological father of you two, and he went into a rage and went to find my father. He found out where he was performing and waited for him as he was heading home, and, well, he killed him? Is that what you're saying?" Leslie was at a full cry now. "I would imagine he thought he didn't want anybody else trying to claim paternity for you two, and he vowed to raise you as though you were his own biological children," Max sighed. "So in his mind, what choice did he have? He knew exactly how to do it, and since he had nothing to actually do with my dad, he was never even considered a suspect. Obviously, my mom never said anything to the police about her affair, so your dad made up his mind to keep it a secret in hopes no one would ever find out the truth. But the DNA tests don't lie." "Wow," Wesley breathed. "This is a lot to take in all at once. To find out your dad wasn't even really your dad and that he likely murdered our real dad to keep it a secret. I don't even know what to think," Leslie added. "I mean, I do think it's completely awesome that when all is said and done, Max is actually really not just like a brother to us, but he actually turns out to be our brother. We love you, Maxie." Both girls hugged Max like the meat between 2 pieces of bread, and they all just hugged, cried, and rocked back and forth for a couple minutes. "Our mom must have been very lonely to have had an affair on our dad," Leslie surmised aloud. And your poor mom lost her husband and never even knew what really happened. She just stayed quiet to save you from any pain." This made Wesley start getting weepy again. Max stood up. "I think we just need to look at this as positively as we can. First of all, our parents are all deceased now, so there won't be any surprises about what happened. Secondly, I, for one, am quite happy that at least I have a family again, and I could not have even handpicked a couple of siblings as awesome as you two," Max claimed as the girls stood up for another group hug. "We feel the same way about you, Max," Wesley said. "Don't we, Leslie?" "You bet. The best older brother a girl could ask for," Leslie remarked. And suddenly Wesley started laughing hysterically, causing Max and Leslie to look all confused as Wesley said to Leslie, "And you made out with our brother." And she started laughing even harder as Max turned 10 shades of red from the embarrassment. "You told her about that?" Max said, incredulously, starting to laugh at himself as Wesley's outburst. Leslie started laughing as well. "Well, we were drunk." Leslie tried to defend her actions. "Not that drunk," Wesley said, laughing through the tears. "Oh my God," Leslie said. "We'll never get to live this down now, will we?" Wesley said, "It reminds me of that Eurotrip movie when Michelle Trachtenberg and her brother got drunk on absinthe in a bar and started making out in front of everybody. They all had a good laugh and sat down to eat their pizza. Our first family meal together," Leslie chuckled.